So, why the tenor banjo, you may ask? For a long time, I've enjoyed Celtic and Irish kind of music. Like I think when I was in high school, my mom got an Irish Rovers record, and I thought it looked really interesting, so I took it and copied it, and I think I gave it back at some point, but I ended up with it with me right now. But I'm not even sure if we still have a working record player, so it doesn't really matter. And then in college, I saw the Pogues on Saturday Night Live, and I thought they were just amazing. There was just something about that sort of melody, that sort of style that I really got into. A few years ago, I was at McCabe's Music, which is an acoustic music store in Santa Monica, and I was actually there because I was looking at different mandolins, and I happened to pick up a couple of old tenor banjos that they had, and I just thought they were so much fun to play. But let me tell you about my journey as far as musical instruments go. I live in this little one-bedroom apartment where space is a premium. So, whenever I buy a new instrument, I always have to take time to make sure that what I get is something that I genuinely will have use for and have room for. So you may or may not know that my first stringed instrument is actually violin, which I don't really play anymore. But years ago, when I was in 8th grade, I guess, I started playing guitar, and have been playing guitar now for about 30 years or so. Well, not quite 30 years, 27 years, maybe. And at this point, I have several. Here's a Gibson. And that one I was showing you is an old Area Pro 2. Oh, and here's another Gibson. This one's blue. And I also have some classicals and some other acoustics. Oh, and I play bass. I started playing bass when I was in college, so I have a couple of basses, and of course, I have and I have an acoustic bass, so I can play Violet Femme's licks. Anyway, so when there was one time when I was in college, I was playing in a musical, and two of the musical songs, one of them required banjo and the other required mandolin. And I was able to play it pretty easily because you sort of play it like a guitar, but they're tuned like a violin. So the tuning made sense to me. So this is not the mandolin that I got when I was in college, but it's one I got a few years ago. That's a really nice one. And I can play, let's see if I can get a pick. I can play songs like I'm out of tune, so I won't play any more of that. But I never really got into banjo, but I thought it was interesting because it was tuned so different than guitar. I guess probably about 10 years ago, I decided to pick up a regular 5-string banjo, as it's called. This one it's a pretty inexpensive one, but this company called Deering made this inexpensive one, basically called a good time banjo. And I guess the funky thing about five-string banjo is that it's tuned to an open chord, and then this high note, or the high string, is actually a different note. So what they tend to do is they do a lot of rolls and a lot of sort of pattern picking. That's what you hear in like country and bluegrass stuff. And I haven't gotten very good at it because it's just so different than guitar, so I actually won't even attempt it now. But last summer I was playing briefly in another little short musical. I was actually playing banjo, and it made me think, you know, it'd be cool to get a nice banjo, but I think if I got a nice banjo, I actually might like to get a tenor banjo. And so I did a lot of shopping, whole lot of shopping, and I ended up with this guy. It is a Deering is the brand, Boston tenor banjo, 19 frets, and unlike that 5-string banjo, it has 4 strings, and it's not tuned to an open chord, it's tuned in fifths, kind of like the mandolin, except it's either tuned an octave lower or a fifth lower, depending on the kind of tuning you're playing in. I have it right now tuned to fifth lower, so I can actually play things that I played on my mandolin on the banjo exactly in the same pitch if I put a capo here, or a fifth lower if I just play them open. But it basically made it so that it's been a new instrument, a new sound, but it was easy to pick up because I could already play it. So that is how I started playing tenor banjo. Wait a minute, that sounds like a song. Way, hey, and up she rises, way, and up she rises, way, and up she rises, way, in the morning. What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? Way in the morning. Shave his belly with a rusty razor, shave his belly with a rusty razor, shave his belly with a rusty razor.